pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Gentlemen, you've had a chance to read the minutes. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved. I'll second the motion.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Okay. On our agenda today, I apologize too because our executive session did take a little bit longer than anticipated, but we had some issues that need to be discussed this morning in executive session, but we got taken care of. 9 a.m. Anita Martin.
She's not here, but I was able to come in her place.
All right, okay.
Got a little bit of handout for you guys.
What's your name?
My name is Brian Carter. I am with Western National EMA. And what we do is we provide supplemental health insurance products. And we've offered these products for state and federal employees for over 20 years. And now we're trying to get out and offer them to the general public at large. And what I've given you there is a little synopsis of our coverages. Obviously, everybody always thinks, are you guys like Aflac? And yes, we are similar to Aflac in that we pay the individual cash. We don't pay doctors or hospitals. Our products are guaranteed renewable and fully portable, which means they can take it with them should they leave or should they retire. Got a synopsis of all of our coverages there. As you go through that, one of the big differences between us and a lot of other supplemental companies is we have a return of premium. And the way that works is if the person doesn't get sick, we give them their money back. The way that works is we return their money each and every 20 years, and again at age 75. And at age 75, they don't lose their coverage, it simply continues, and they get their return of premium every 10 years at a 50% rate. So it's kind of a nice option where people always say they don't get sick. Obviously, our signature programs in there are cancer, heart attack, stroke, and heart disease. Those are the big four killers of Americans in the U.S. So that's our signature programs. But we have also accident coverage, we have disability coverage, we have critical illness coverage, and we have a hospital secure that can bridge the gap between someone's major medical deductible at zero, basically. So I also attached some brochures there for the cancer, the heart attack stroke coverage, the accident coverage, and the hospital security coverage. And as you get to the last page is a listing of gifts. What we generally do is when we come in and talk with the employees, we give them a gift for just sitting down and talking to us about the risks of heart attack, stroke, cancer, and accidents. That way it can increase the participation, and if they choose not to get anything, they at least are more informed on some of the risks and how to prevent some of the risks. So what I'm asking today is if you guys would allow us to come in and offer this to the county employees.
At the end of each column is your rate per week?
That's what it starts at. There's a lot of different options, so it's kind of hard to give a big option, but I kind of put where it starts at. Because obviously for an individual, it's cheaper than an individual and a husband and wife, or an individual with children, or a family. And then there's a lot of different options for a lot of stuff. And one of the reasons we like to sit down and talk with each individual person is because we want to go through what their concerns are, maybe what their history is with their parents and grandparents, and then we also wanna sit down and make sure it fits their budget. Because if it doesn't fit their budget, it is not gonna do them any good.
Right.
So we try to sit down and make sure it fits their budget, try to get something that concerns them, and get them in something, and kinda go from there.
Where did didn't we just have somebody come in
Oh,
on Dean's disability? I mean, that scheduled a meeting?
yeah, around the first of the year, we had things like, I don't know, we had so many. I
Somebody
can't
had
keep up
to do
with
that.
them.
I don't know if it was someone going on. I was thinking that.
Do you guys have a number of other supplemental companies?
Yes,
Yeah, we get hit up quite a bit. We'll have someone approach and ask the right to speak to the employees either about some kind of investment savings program or supplemental insurance.
What kind of participation do you have? Do you have a lot of employees participating in that, or is it mixed, or kind of what do you have?
depends on what the insurance. I mean, there is several that is on one of the insurance. We have two that's well participated in. The others are just a handful on some of the others, but there's two that are well participated in.
Are those supplemental health, or the supplemental life, or
There's, yeah, they're supplemental.
but they're supplemental health, not supplemental life, or they're both?
They're both.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how many, I mean, we want to give the employees the opportunity to shop, but at the same point in time, we only can do so many years. And it gets,
Not just a year, but collectively.
yeah.
Yeah, we often run into a lot of businesses and counties that have a lot of other supplemental. One of the things that separates us from everybody else is that return premium. It's another way for an employee to actually save some money without putting anything aside. They're buying their protection, and then they get the money if they don't get sick. So it kind of works both ways. So it can actually be somewhat of a small retirement plan if someone doesn't get sick. It also can give the employee an incentive to go and take wellness tests and stuff like that.
And we have one company that does that now.
Okay.
That's offering the same that you said, that they get paid. I mean, it doesn't matter to me, I mean, it's
Well, one thing we can
employees.
do, Sarah, could you take this sheet and check the rates? And if the rates are lower, maybe the first of the year, we can take a look at it again.
No, I'd give them to one of the insurance people,
Or, well,
I mean, I don't know how to check insurance rates.
no, I mean the rate we're paying now.
So there's so many
The thing different I see on this is the different areas, like you have a certain, can you separate these sections out?
Oh, yeah, each one of them, they
Okay.
can get whatever they
So
want. They don't have to
if
buy them all.
you have a person that has a supplemental insurance for, say, a heart attack, and they're paying $650 per week. That's your rate, okay? Or if you go with accident supplemental, so it would cover any of that at a rate of $3 per week. And then that $3, if you don't have accident, you get it all back at the end of 20 years. What I'm asking is, can we check these rates with the rates that the employees are paying now and see if there are any difference in those rates? If they're cheaper or not?
Would that be up to the employee though, if they,
Well, that means we have to get 135 of these out to somebody.
would that be his job?
I don't have a problem with that, but what do you gentlemen think?
I mean, so what would you do, are you just gonna send information to the employees, or are you gonna set up a?
What we'd like to do is set up disrupt business. So we like to set up and then just try to talk to them at their breaks, or maybe before work, or a little bit after work, or something like that. When they get free time. And then we just try to work it in, because we don't want to disrupt anything. And it's easier if we can go to that department, or to that area, so that way they're not driving someplace and taking them away from the work time. And when we come to talk to them, they'll be able to tell us, what they're paying now, whether they're, wanting to replace it. The other thing is, if someone has a huge cancer concern, there's nothing that says they can't have 2 or 3 or 4 different supplementals, because they will all pay. And, if someone has a lot of cancer in their family, we see a lot of people get multiple policies. And there might be one feature in each of the different policies that they like. One of the big features in our cancer policy is we have a health advocate. And if someone gets cancer, the health advocate will take care of everything for them, from navigating through the healthcare system, finding the best physicians and facilities for the type of cancer they have, resolving any claims issues, and accessing community and educational resources. That's all part of the policy for no additional charge. So we see people that like that portion, but they don't want to give up their other policy, so they get both.
And they can only take the cancer.
They can take any
Right.
part, any one, or any,
Any of the
yeah,
other.
they can take any part that they want. Those are independent policies.
Okay.
Yeah, each one will get a separate policy for each coverage that they want. And like I said, it's fully portable, so it's guaranteed renewable for life, which is kind of a nice thing, because the price doesn't change, and they can't get canceled for having too many claims. It's theirs as long as they want it, as long as they pay for it.
How long has your company been in existence?
Since 1923. And actually, Washington National is part of the Conseco group. I'm sure most people have heard of Conseco.
23,
That's older than you are, Charles.
that's almost as long as John.
Yeah.
Something like John.
But just to tell you, Conseco and Washington National, Bankers Life, Colonial Penn, we're all one big company.
And the cash rate per day on this goes to the employee.
The return of premium goes to the employee.
Or if they, hospital stays or everything, cash goes to the employee's responsible.
All money goes to the employee. We don't pay anything to a doctor or hospital.
Okay.
And then the employee can choose to do with the money as they see fit. Because a lot of times, if you get sick with a cancer, heart attack, stroke, or even an accident, and you're at home, you still have, utilities, you have car payments, house payments, those kind of things still come in. And, you still have to pay your utilities even if you can't work and draw an income. So it's another way of sustaining your standard of living.
Okay.
So you just want to coordinate a meeting through the auditor, and I guess the issue is this something you want our employees to have time for? Who makes himself available, or someone from his company makes himself available?
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, if it's been a little while since the last.
I don't either, and these rates look awful cheap.
That's what the employees like.
Yeah.
It's a proposal that they can take or leave.
Okay.
That's kind of why we like to sit down with them and figure out what their biggest concerns are. And so we can see how that works with everybody. How often do you guys pay your employees? Is there every week or?
I think it'd be a good idea. I don't know that much about insurance, but I know that those rates look awful cheap. I'm not a fan of insurance companies. You might as well know that up front.
Most people are.
Our insurance coordinator at the county definitely knows it, because I have chewed him, I don't know how many times. But I think insurance is an evil necessity that people have to have.
Absolutely.
And, if you spend all your life and pay the insurance and then you don't use it, it just seems like such a letdown. But these rates here look awful low, and it looks like that it would be beneficial.
Well, see, that's one of the reasons, what you just said is one of the reasons why we developed the return of premium, because people always say, I I pay for all this insurance and I never get any benefit out of
And
it.
after 20 years, you can still get it back, that's a pretty good deal. Yeah, I'm okay with that. John, you're okay with it? John, you're okay with it? Then we can coordinate an effort to go ahead and talk to,
Yeah, just let him coordinate through the auditor.
through the auditor's office and set it up with the whole department. Thank you.
Thanks,
All right.
Brian.
Thank you. Can I get your number, or do you have a card with you?
Uh-huh. I still hadn't died.
I'm gonna give you one of my cards.
Well, I'm gonna let my wife know that accidental death would pay her $75,000.
I'll let her know, it's okay.
Okay. So I'll get back with you.
I know her, she's my bud, it'd be all right, I'll tell her.
All right, thank you guys.
See you, Brian.
All right, thanks a lot.
What are you laughing at, Tommy? You better not let your wife know either.
Yeah.
I don't know her though.
He didn't see. No danger, Tom driving.
We're having an accident. Cecilia, this should be the final time of the closeout of Blue River Services.
No, not quite yet. We have, they like to call things out. We have 3 closeout documents. So we've just sent our first one. And then this one should be fairly painless. This is only an inquiry from Liberty Mutual for the contract bond. So they just want a status update, so I had the architect complete it. So you just need to sign that this is the status update, so.
Okay.
So I've sent in closeout form
My
number 1.
signature or all three?
No, just one's fine. I've sent in closeout form number 1. We probably have a site visit after this, where I will come and, meet with Okra and Sarah, and we'll go through all the files, and Sarah, you'll just let me use your copier. So, and, then we'll send in 2, and then we'll do 3, and then it'll be done, so.
Okay.
That's all I have. Anything for me?
The facility is
Completed
complete
and in action.
and open,
People are there,
running.
running.
Could you tell me the estimated number of jobs that are in that building now, or is that information, have you picked up on that information?
Well, we had to put that, I don't know if it was jobs, but, because, it's kind of changed. Blue River has had quite a bit of changes lately, so I don't think that I'm the person that can tell you right now. I might be able to go get that information if you like. I can email it to you.
Yeah, send me an email if you happen to run onto it, no matter what, I
Okay.
just wanted to know. I knew that facility was going to add jobs to the county,
Yes.
so I just want to know how many.
Yeah, okay, I'll get that information and share it with you.
It's no big deal, I know there's jobs there, that's good.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am.
Everybody else will meet, not really, soon.
As far as I know, we have our annual coming up in September, I think. So, yes.
Jail, I'll be one of the sponsors as it was last year.
I will, thank you.
Thank you.
Believe it or not, that's all that was on our agenda today. So,
Yesterday, y'all, you may remember about 2 meetings ago or 3 meetings ago, Drew Wright came and reassembled and conducted a meeting with, how long ago was that?
It was maybe 2, I don't know.
Okay. But anyway, that's the Washington County Memorial Hospital Association. Well, now, as a result of that, the final step was this joint resolution. And yesterday, a public hearing was held at the council meeting, and there were nobody showed up to speak or voice an opinion for or against. So the council went ahead and voted. I'm to report to you, I had a discussion with Mark Clark, he reported that no one voiced an opinion. It was duly published in the newspaper and everything, they're having a hearing on that. I can see why no one showed up and had an opinion, because it's basically just transferring a piece of real estate that got omitted the first time. So what I have is the third joint resolution of the Board of Directors of Critical Access Health Services Corporation as successor in merger to Washington County Memorial Hospital Board of Trustees and the Board of Commissioners of Washington County and the Washington County Council, jointly resolving to transfer that parcel that we talked about at that meeting, so that it can be part of the entire property that's subject to the lease agreement rights of Critical Access Health Services. So anyway, basically what I need is this board to go ahead and vote on that. And I've got the county council's signatures from yesterday, and then we'll have a vote today, and then I can send this over to, or I can give it to you.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to go ahead and agree with the resolution.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion been made and second, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Pose same sign.
And Aaron's signature on page 4. Sarah, you signed, or page 3, Sarah, you signed on page 4.
Tom, does that, Steve? That went on last meeting, we established a board of review for Drew, right?
That was the entity.
Yeah, now
It's
do
a
we need
holding
to dissolve
company.
that?
No, let's leave it lingering in case something like this comes up again.
Rhonda, you're still president of that board?
Okay. Well, I'm always around and it's okay.
John, I'm gonna keep it, 'cause I have to put another one, so maybe.
Yeah, let me
when
take
you
it up and
get
get
that
the check.
check.
There you go.
Two votes in one stone.
One more.
Okay,
That's all I had.
okay, we're gonna go around the room, then we'll go through the commissioners, or you wanna go to the commissioners next? After Tom, let's go to John.
We all received budget estimate for the city of Salem. I don't want to go over that with you guys. I met with the mayor about combining the,
This, let me interrupt you just a second, this is not budget estimates for the city of Salem, it's budget estimates for the city dog pound, okay? You said the city of
Well,
Salem,
yeah,
I thought,
I was-
well, we probably ought to clarify.
from the city of Salem for the dog pound.
There we go.
Yeah, Randall shelter. Which, you know, seems fairly low. I think we're gonna have, there's some things missing on there. But, you know, presently, I think we're all in agreement that could be money saved if we would just let one of the entities go ahead and take it over, and the city, the way we're leaning toward is having the city take over the operation of the animal shelter, and we fund it, and having a board. So what I'm gonna try to do is get this ironed out before the budget hearings.
Starts at 15. Yeah, I got a copy, I think, of
You've
what
got
you
that
have
too,
also.
okay. So, you know, I mean, 101,000 seems very low. They don't have anything for utilities. So I need to get really a better estimate from them. I think that it's too low, so. And on the paving of, or the striping of Boyles Road, I talked to Floyd County, and they're still a couple months away. They are wanting to wait until they get their paving done, and once they do that, they're gonna start striping their roads and doing at the same time, so it may not be until sometime in September, or late September. And that's all I have for right now.
Okay, John?
Yeah, I attended the county council meeting yesterday, they passed this joint resolution also, and they also, decided to take the $85,023 to make up for the reimbursement for overpayment of Medicare, so, we'll take that check over to the hospital board meeting Thursday morning. They also approved a $8,000 additional appropriation for the Blue River cleanup, and they decided to take that out of the rainy day fund. And they had a little additional $3,000 appropriation, I think, from the copier to attorney, is that right, Ben?
Right, yeah.
And that was,
Judge Medlock.
that was passed
Some money.
also.
Yeah.
Judge's office, and Bobby Woodward, from the airport board, he gave an update on the airport project and their process of purchasing 2 more, properties out there. And the federal government, I think, instead of going 95%, they cut it back to 90%, so they're going to have to come back with a little bit more local match of 10%. And I think he said that he had applied for $500,000 more. Hopefully they'll get that. And when it's all done, I guess it'll be about 300 acres out there with the total project. Now they have, what, about a third been, about a third of that 300 already taken care of?
Yes, yes. And part of those 2 acquisitions they're gonna be making here, those 2 have to be made prior to that additional grant. They are part of that additional grant, so that has to be done in lieu of applying, or done before applying for that additional $500,000.
Marta Mizak, who's the vice president, I think, for Last Spring out on Jackson Street, explained the funding out there for her business, and I think we've been given $100,000 a year, and that's, according to the proportion, that's kind of short, so I think she said they need about $96,000 for the rest of the year for Last Spring. And I want to thank Sarah for drafting a letter, and I asked her to get from the commissioners to the Harrison County Council of Commissioners. It says, the Washington County Board of Commissioners and County Council would like to thank you for your gift of $20,000 to Washington County for the March 2nd tornado that hit Washington County. Your gift is greatly appreciated in the county, and thank you again for the $20,000 gift to Washington County. So one of us can take that down there to the county council meeting where the commissioners are always there also, and
Now,
give a personal thank.
can that $20,000 be used as part of our local match on the, I know you guys.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
That's what it's for.
Yeah.
We actually, our in-kind ended up being about $28,000 was gonna be our share of that report. And we ended up moving, 8 out of rainy day the other day.
Finish
plus
up.
That was what
20 that
20,000.
they, was so gracious to pass on to us.
Yeah.
And that fulfilled that commitment.
Oh, so our in-kind wasn't 28, our cash,
Well, our cash, everything,
our in-kind fell short by 28.
yes.
So,
And that was,
so that's how.
yes, that's gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes, and we need to supplement that amount.
Okay,
This 20 plus the 8 that they approved.
gotcha.
So I want to thank Sarah for doing that. And doesn't matter who takes it down. One of us needs to take it down personally, give it to them at their meetings.
When is our meeting, sir?
Pardon?
When is the meeting?
Do you remember when we went down, it was the 3rd Monday, when we went down there?
Oh, man,
We can find out.
we can find out.
So,
Depending upon my medical status, if I have an opportunity, if you wanted to run down there to another meeting, I would gladly, if I was available and didn't have to ride with you, would do
yeah,
that.
somebody can
And
cancel.
John just said if I didn't go, he would be able to.
Okay. We'll get that worked out.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay. Before we get to myself or Sarah, I want to go ahead around the room. Up back there in the very back, we start with Rhonda.
Okay.
Is there somebody sitting on the side yet?
No, that was something else. Okay, let me come up, let me, be abusive, sorry. Want to go ahead and talk about the Google Apps. I met with Tom, I don't know when, a long time ago.
It was on Thursday.
It was on a Thursday, whenever that was.
2 weeks ago.
And so I haven't had a chance to really work on the apps, just because, fair came in, I had to man the booth and all that kind of stuff. And I wanted to change it, after talking with Tom, I wanted to change it a little bit so that it would include what you guys actually need. Okay? So, and when I do it, I have to do it all at one time so everything connects. Okay? And what I want to do too, I mean, it's not as extensive and as traumatic as it sounds, but it needs to be done so that everything connects and everything works together properly. Okay? And I wanted to go ahead and include, it's called Weebly. And it's part of Google Apps. It's an application that you can have. And it actually enables you to put up a website. And in Weebly, you can take a website and you can section it off. And you can have separate authors on different parts of the website. And so each department can have its own website that no one else can get onto, that they can put their information onto it, their calendar will be on it, and anything else that they want to put on it. Weebly costs maybe $3 or $4 a month. Right now, currently, Washington County is paying $2,000 a year for their website. Okay? And it's actually showing some stress in that it's hard to get the information out of what you're looking at and all of that kind of stuff. Right now, they have artisans and farmers plastered on the front of the county website. Where's the Washington County Farmers Market ad then? You see what I'm saying? It's not really directed towards the nuts and bolts of what our county really needs to have from its government and direct communication. You can take it or leave it. I'm going to go ahead and set it up so that you guys can go ahead and look at it and play with it, and if you don't want it, that's fine. If you do, that's fine too. So I'm hoping to go ahead and save $2,000 out of the budget and actually be more efficient and more together with the community. Okay? And so I should be able to, I've sectioned off time, and I should be able to get it done this week and let Tom go ahead and play with it. And if there is anything else that you need, or you just don't like it at all, you can go ahead and chuck it in the weeds or whatever you want to do. I've already spent my money on it, what little money it has to be spent on it, and that's fine. This is a donation to the community. Okay, do you have any questions on this? Okay, one of the main things that I wanted to do was to have a personal calendar, a private calendar, as well as one that would go out into the public. And the way I'm sectioning it off, and I want to go ahead and get a clear view on this, I want each department to have their private calendar in that it's private and that they see it and that the commissioners see it. Commissioners, council, and the lawyer. So whatever they put on their private calendar goes to just this group of people. Okay? So if there's like a termination or whatever, it can be a legal document where you can find out when it happened, how it happened, as long as they don't change it, and if they do change it, it'll show that it was changed at this date by this person. You see what I'm saying? So that was the main concern, to go ahead and build that in, and to make everything as automatic as possible, as understandable as possible. Because I have to step back and say, okay, now if I'm just walking into it, and I have no idea about how computers and websites work, is this going to work for somebody just walking into it? So I have to, it's not, I don't want to call it dumbing down, but I have to get into another place. Okay? All right. So hopefully I want it to have it be as automatic as possible without putting you guys in danger of putting out information that doesn't need to be out, because it can be a little bit dangerous. If you put it on the wrong calendar, the world knows. I want to make sure that it's marked clearly, that it doesn't have any chance of escape if it's on the private calendar. Okay? So, so I've been kind of working on it in my head, and I've got an overview of what I want, and I have to take hours straight to go ahead and do this and do it in one shot. So do you have any questions or any requests?
Just because I know these are going to have to be recorded in minutes, how do you spell Weebly?
W-E-E-B L-E-Y. I think I got it right. I think I got it right.
Almost that's right.
Almost, well, close enough. It'll be on there. But, yeah, it's in big puffy letters and it's easy. And I'd like to go ahead, one of the reasons I want to go ahead and put this forward as far as Weebly goes, you can do a commerce website with this. You know, I wanted to get something that was easy to use, it was friendly to use, not only for the government, but it can be transferred over to any other application. You know, this is a lot of where our commerce is going to come from. And if our government understands how it works and can use it, it can be understandable for everybody.
Oh, so if we're, okay, oh, yeah, I know what you're saying. We're so dumb that if we get it,
No,
we
no, no,
can't.
no, no, no. No, there are no stupid or dumb people. It's just you're coming from a different place, okay? When you look at something, you know, like I look at something because I've been messing with it for so long. You know, I look for different traits, okay? When you're looking at it, you're looking for different traits. You want it to do certain things, and if it doesn't show you right there up front that it can do this and do it easily, you're not going to use it, okay? So, I mean, I'm used to digging around and pulling things up and warping it to my own, like, you know, desire. But, you know, you guys don't have time to do it. You don't have, you know, the will to do it. It's like, oh, this pisses me off. I'm just going to chuck it.
One of the, I mean,
Go ahead.
you guys may recall about 2 years ago, I think, the Chamber of Commerce came and they had developed a logo that they wanted to use universally across the county. That logo is what's at the top of our website. And I think the way our website got set up, divided and set up among the different departments and stuff was originally established by the Chamber of Commerce. Then under our contract with Cybertech, I mean, that's what we're paying for, because none of us know HTML or anything like that. We're not doing updates and changing things on our website. We're paying them to do it. As far as the overall structure, that's where I think the rub comes, is somebody besides us make a decision on who gets listed
Right.
on the website as a link, who gets a link and who's not. I mean, we don't have a committee, we certainly don't have a county administrator or someone who would be in charge, who would be a go-to person to oversee that kind of thing. You know, you have 3 part-time executives here, none of them had really anything to do with this. We just said, okay, yeah, Chamber of Commerce set it up, and they did, I think, I wasn't there, but this is kind of my recollection of what happened, and then we're paying Cybertech to maintain it and make changes. When Rhonda came to me, it took me about a half an hour to 20 minutes to figure out that I thought we were going to talk about Google Ads, and she kept talking about this Weebly, and then I realized, oh, okay, there's this cool app that makes us, we could each have a larger website, and then each department could have its own website within, under the umbrella kind of thing. Kind of user-friendly, you don't have to know HTML. I don't know if it's something we want to do or don't want to do, but I do want to warn, that's a tough word, but warn you that that's what we're talking about here. We have a website that we agreed to with the Chamber of Commerce. They've got a logo that they want to use to represent Washington County, Indiana, with the red dot and remember the logo? Okay, so that's kind of what we've been using. This would be a diversion away from that path and that understanding that we had with the Chamber of Commerce. So I'm just.
You can still use the logo.
Right.
It's not a big whoop either way, you know. But as far as this gives you a voice. This gives every department a voice. Whether they want to use it or not, they don't have to, okay? But they're accountable for that information up there. It's like, well, you know, I gave it to Dan and he just did it that way. Well, you really need to be accountable for what information is up there, okay? So, I mean, you know, and this gives you an easy way, hopefully an easy way, if I set it up right, an easy way to go ahead and be accountable. It's like putting stuff on Facebook without the porn and whatever.
So we can have private individual calendars
Mhm.
that would just go to certain people.
Right,
Or we can have a and we can have a calendar that will be open to the public.
right.
But those are two different discussions.
Right, those are, yeah, but,
That's a Google Apps, that's a part of Weebly, or Weebly's a part of Google Apps. But the website's a different issue. We agreed to work with Google Apps. We thought, hey, that sounds good, let's try that.
Right.
Then the public can see our calendar, our meetings, stuff like that, not a problem. And then where do we post it? Do we do it
right.
on Google Apps, or do we do it on our website, or do we do it on Weebly?
You can see me working on it at Washington County INGovernment.com. Washington County INGovernment.com. And I'm in the process, like I said, I'm going to sit down today. I'm going to have my ice cream and my Lord of the Rings on TV, okay? And go ahead and just make sure everything's, because I have to go ahead and add. It's like brick and mortar, okay? You build a building, you know, I just looked around and I thought, you know, I could use some mortar here. And I'm building a nice thing for you. Whether you want it or not, I mean, you know, not that you have to take it or not is what I'm trying to say. But let me give you something that, and then that way you can kind of use it for a little bit, see if you like it, and if you need something else, I can go ahead and do something else, and then I can back out. Say like for the $2,000, instead of paying for the website, pay $500 to somebody in the office. You know, that would be a nice bonus to go ahead and say, look, you know, just these are a few things. You have full access to the community or the government website. If you need to add a page or do something else like that, that's the person to go to. Okay? So trying to get the money and keep the money within the government and keep the people that we have that are valuable here. You see what I'm saying? Instead of going ahead and just putting $2,000 out there, because it is stressful for Dan to come in. He's not living it every day. You see what I'm saying? He's somebody from outside. He's trying to put something forward that's really nice, and I understand that. But it almost needs to be dry. It needs to be without the fruit and whatever. You need to go ahead and put forward the basic information so that people can understand and they can find it.
So you can get all this done this week and get it to Tom?
Yeah, I'm going to probably go ahead and email you with the links and let you go ahead and play with the stuff already in the commissioner link, which is also a super administrator. You have 3 super administrators. You have the council, you have the commissioners, and you have the lawyer. Okay? So those are the super, I know. Just, yeah, big S. You're welcome is what yours is. But, big S. But yeah, so that you can go in all of it. You have access to all of it. So,
Phil, what was your question?
yes.
I see you raise your
I
hand.
was just wondering, who, when you say everybody can set this up, and you was talking about bringing up termination, who's accepting the responsibility and would you set it up so that false information don't get put on there?
The accounts are going to be set up, and that's the whole specific way to do this. The accounts are going to be set up that the departments themselves only can get into that one account. There are 10 accounts per Google app, okay? And each account has their own name. There's one for the assessor, there's one for the auditor, there's one for the clerk. Every department that needs an account has their own account. And they only can get into the section of the website and into their calendars and all of that kind of stuff.
So like liability, if false statements got put on, who accepts that responsibility?
Well, they would have to, if they put false statements on their own account, they can only do that. Only they can do that. So the accountability goes back directly to the department. If you let
official.
right,
It's the elected official.
But
Yeah.
wouldn't that not come back to the county commission? So is anybody gonna be able to proofread this before certain statements are put on there?
sweetie, the departments themselves are in charge. They are directly accountable to what information they put out. And it's easily changeable also. If there's a mistake that's been made, they can go back in, whether it be 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 1 a.m. at night. It is a website based. That's a really good question. And that's specifically why I'm setting it up this way. So no one can actually mess with it. This is not open to the public. The accounts are open specifically, just like an email account or anything similar to that nature.
But when you say each department does their own thing, yet those three guys up there are still responsible for the end result. But
It reflects what you have here in government right now.
there's no proofreading of what's put on there by anybody.
Right, and that's something I was gonna bring up later when we got further down the road.
Okay.
That's probably my number one concern. While I don't think you see it as a concern, I do. I share that concern because, just because you're an elected official doesn't mean you may or may not have good judgment in what should or shouldn't be said. If it has to kind of filter through a body that has an attorney and then filter through someone, through a higher professional who, it kind of gets screened and thought about by the time it gets to the final product. And I think at some point, there is a kind of a second look at it before it gets published. Although I will say that anything that gets published now doesn't flow through us or the attorney. It just gets sent, but I don't think it's really updated that often, just generic information. But theoretically, yeah, someone who could come out of a meeting with emotions about something could get online and post something on the assessor's website, because they have, or I should have said assessor, I mean the auditor's website or the clerk's website or whatever. Someone could say something because they've got access and this could be their forum and put something up there, and you're exactly right. There is no fluidity there. The one thing about having a base person is it's the same author, it's the same writing style, it's the same everything, and so it does flow because there is a common theme. There is one person through whom it all flows. And then if you get 10 different people creating their own websites with their own style and all that, it does create some disjunction, and there is no common thread, and you got 10 different people creating risk as opposed to one.
Okay. Well, that would be more with the calendar than the website itself. I've already got the assessor and the auditor. I went ahead and copied information off of the website itself and tried to go ahead and put the information in so it's understandable.
Don't get me wrong, I agree. We're going
Oh,
to
you're
a
fine,
cyber
you're
world.
fine, you're fine. I'm trying
Everything
to answer the question.
malicious stuff we have seen can be done over and over.
Right.
And yet, with the world today and the knowledge we want to see, but on the other hand, I don't know, I don't even really know you.
Right.
And you setting this up, but who prints what in there? Like I said, the end result to the county, and once something's been said, it's hard to stop.
And I'm gonna point something out here too. It said whether there's a website or not. And this is a cleaner way, because you're gonna think about it. You're gonna think about it. Like you said, things aren't like looked at now. And it's a good thing to go ahead and put forward and say, look, maybe we need to be more professional in how we deal with the public. This gives them a forum to go ahead and do that. And they can be taken off as authors and stuff like that, but there needs to be a direct line to the accountability.
Well, passwords can get away from people and other stuff can get on. But yet, when certain groups, like, I assume you're paying somebody now to set up a website, but that group does hold the responsibility and is liable for what is put on there. But when you start opening up to every department, and I don't like them Rainbow or any part, if that gets out, because of my view, it's hard to stop.
A computer will not read your mind. A computer will not read your mind. You actually have to put that stuff
I
on
agree,
there.
but that's what I'm
And
saying.
there needs to be, and that's what's been missing. It's the first time in history, and you're right, it's the first time in history that you can be so detailed about information. You can know everything. I'm recording this, it'll be online, and I have people that pop on my website from Washington, D.C., all the way out to California. Schools and government and whatever. So and I understand what you're saying. But there needs to be, this is a chance to go ahead and give a voice to the departments. If they choose to be, and they don't have to. I know, but, and that's the thing. A website doesn't make this happen, people do.
I agree.
And it's not that a website, that it happens just on websites. And it's good to go ahead and bring this out, because it happens in real life too.
I just saying it should be proofread by them before it's all recommended to them.
And they need to go ahead, and put that into place.
Let me just say that your concern is well-founded, and I already had that concern. So that's something that I'm gonna advise them on as she rolls forward with this. That's something that I was gonna raise later anyway, but I just didn't wanna.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's what I think is an insightful comment, because I don't think the 10 elected officials or whatever need a voice. Rhonda does. I mean, they need to run their department. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't want to say they need a voice. They ran for office, they got elected, and they're doing their job. So I don't know that but the question is, do we want 10 different people with 10 different styles? We're increasing our risk tenfold, as opposed to having one person do it. And also, we take the liability away from the professional and put it on the county for whatever gets said. And you're right, they are responsible for it, but that doesn't mean I trust any of these guys, or any of us, to say they're, there does need to be, this way there is one person responsible for what gets said. So, well-founded, I think we've got the issues, and we'll deal with that. But I am interested in kind of taking a look at this.
Right.
For a multiple of reasons, because what little you showed me, I was really intrigued.
It is, and what I'll do is I'll set it up, and they don't have to actually take this. What I'm trying to do is, because it's not been done before. And you're right. I mean, I didn't even think about it. I always, we make each department accountable. They don't have to use it. The calendar itself, I went ahead and set up everything for this, a webpage for the sheriff, a calendar for the sheriff, and a page that's not been listed that they can use and list on that other page. I've gone ahead and set up those things, whether they use it or not. So what I'm trying to do is to go ahead and give it out evenly to see where people need to be. And so I have to start someplace. And I didn't, as far as that goes. But that's what I'm aiming for. And if they do have, if there is concerns or whatever, honestly, it's not just the website. Because damage can be done outside of the website. Considerable damage.
Well, we're sitting here talking about a lot of things that we're not going to know until we get the process started.
I'll leave you alone.
Thank you, Rhonda, and once we get the process started, I'm sure they're going to run into some rough spots. One thing I'm happy with, they always say you start with the dumbest first, so she's starting with the commissioners, but I noticed she did start with the attorney and the commissioners. So.
I made him listen, poor little feller. It's okay.
Well, I kind of feel bad though, because I was already in your class once.
Yeah.
I think it's a good information point for us, but how far we go is someplace, we may need to draw some lines, say we're not going here, but we will go here. But we're gonna let Tom go ahead and play with it and see, and then he can advise us on what we really need to do. Okay, thanks, Rhonda.
You're welcome.
Phil, you're next.
Same thing, anything that decided on the building at Fredericksburg?
No,
I do want to.
other than our conversation last night.
I do feel like the Lions Club down here is a small group in a small town, and I know they feel down because they're losing the corporation. Yet the other night when I drove to Martinsburg, street lights, we pay for our own down there, each individual, and it does look like a small town. The Lions Club in Martinsburg does try to do competitively with Fredericksburg as providing to the food bank. The group itself could improve the building, but Lions Clubs don't have much money. We donate everything back to normally our local groups, but we do take pride in helping the Washington County Food Bank. But I would like strong consideration on helping them out, and I think it would help the center of the town itself. And I guess that's about all I gotta say here.
We're gonna be talking a little bit about Fredericksburg when it finally gets to me.
Okay.
So that's gonna be included.
Thank you.
He's already shook his head no. He has too. Tim, how's Delaney?
Delaney's doing so-so. I guess I talked to the county council yesterday and informed them that Jerome had resigned and that Mo was going to take his place, and then Mo was put in the papers to have the assistant manager's job, to get someone for that.
What's Mo's last name?
Bergman, Alvin.
Berman.
B-U-R-M-A-N.
Yeah. And I also understood that Jerome's wife lost her dad this Sunday, so he's had some more misfortunes there. We're just all very indebted to him and his wife for the turnaround that they've made out there at the park. And we'll just keep struggling. We are gonna go to the budget hearings, trying to get all of us to attend. We would like to try to get another employee full-time, and would like your all's consent to that. We would get your opinion on that. If we just do some simple math, if you've got 3 full-time employees out there and there's 24 hours in a day, that gives each one of them people 8 hours a day to work. That don't give anybody time off, anybody that would be a scheduled employee. The 4th person would be able to work in there to where at least one of them would be getting some days off through the week. They realize, weekends are their big things, but we think that that would be a plus for us if we can get somebody to kind of lighten the load. We're also looking into, I know Jerome had a lot of trouble by living down there, that people come knocking on your doors at midnight, 1, 2 o'clock, things of that sort. And we're kicking around maybe trying to find one of the annual campers that would be our sheriff of the night, if you want to call it that. The go-to person that if somebody needed a tub of firewood, they could go see that person, and that would kind of lighten the load off. And if there's a serious thing, then he would still be there, that they could go contact him, but.
Is Mo and Renee gonna live down there?
Yeah, they're already down there.
They're already down there? Okay. Mo, gentleman, was Jerome's right hand. So.
He was the assistant.
He was the assistant, and at first he wasn't interested in it, and then him and his wife went through it and decided that would be a good move for him. And I think he'll do real well down there.
I think the board made an excellent decision, what they did. Everybody, it seemed to me like the personality of Jerome and the personality of Mo is what really turned that around. Because, you look at the park itself, the amount of man hours you actually had with the people that we had, there was no way that whole park was going to get done, all that it's accomplished in this short time. But because of the attitude of our manager and assistant manager and the help out there, it seemed like all the year-round campers and a lot of the other people, they just pitched in.
Yeah.
I mean, I was really impressed that, they would have a Saturday scheduled and call it a work Saturday at a park. And here your campers are coming down and doing a lot of the work, but they all pitched in just because of the personality and attitude of the people you have out there. So I think that's what really turned that park around, was just the whole attitude of the people out there. It really worked out well. I think the park itself was over 200,000 in the red. Does that sound right?
Between the 2 line items, yes.
Between the two,
Between
and
the two.
now they're how much?
And
And they're how much in the red now?
well, if you count the 2 back, it's about 135, that's not the report we got yet. the non-reverting fund is about -80, I believe. And the other one's still holding at 55, which is
So,
built out for,
you're looking
because we
at,
took away the rate.
you're looking at not only paying the labor, improving the park, spending, but coming down on a
That's
debt
70,000.
that wasn't even your fault to begin with. But it's really came in 1 year. This is a 1 year turnaround of the park. So that's really great. Good job.
Excuse me, that's 89. So it's still 60 some odd, it's still a good number.
Good. Great. What else you got, Tim?
That's it.
Thank you. Our county highway department. How was it, Jerome?
Talked to Rich Goddard, he's headed back to Cleveland, with some more tests. I believe maybe a surgery on his eye, where he had that cancer spot, I believe was on there, we're going to remove that up there. Supposed to be up there tomorrow, I believe, I think he left today. He's been feeling pretty weak. Don't been out much, I don't think. That's about all I have on him right now. Should be getting our FEMA money this month from the tornado cleanup. Well, they thought it would be here in August. About 3 weeks ago, most everybody know the lightning struck our phone system over there, what little we had left. Now it's plumb out, nothing works. They came last Thursday, Frontier did, put some hardware in. They're still not working, but they're not totally hooked up yet. The bills call them every day. I understand they're running some kind of a new line, however they do that for the Seymour site, through the airwaves or whatever. And we're waiting on that to contact for everything to be turned back on.
Okay, so the phones are still down?
Phones are still down. We have a message on the machine where you can call and it'll answer that somehow, and how it does that. You can leave a message, and we're going in on our
You
cell
can't
phone.
go in and pick up on the message.
Yeah, we're going on our cell phones and picking up the messages that people leave.
Okay.
So far, everybody's been pretty well receptive of it.
What about Desi's phone? How's that affecting?
There's none of them.
So what is she doing if she gets them?
I guess she's going on her voicemail too, getting her messages on her that way, the same way we are.
Yeah.
We also told them on there, anything serious, you can call the jail, they can call us, on our cell phone. So that's what we're doing.
911 and emergency numbers are all through the jail anyway.
Yeah.
But they've been, haven't been really any honoring messages like you think they might have been, but nobody answered the phone. They're working on it. Fair is over. Still waiting on the confirmation on cleaning up the hog farm. They did leave last night. And Dave was supposed to get with me on that process on that. I thought he might call me today. We get that cleaned up, and I guess the fair will be over. They did have a couple issues down there on the track Friday night. One of the trucks kind of got away from them, took out the electric pole. Cut the show down a little early, I think. But it was replaced back Saturday morning for the demo. Everything went pretty smooth, I think, for the demo.
Good. I haven't heard anything, other than the pigs getting out there last night.
I think Morrisville's gonna have a report for you next meeting, I believe, what he's talking to here, give you an update on all that. I guess that's about all I have.
I know we got, in my district, I know there's at least another mile of blacktopping to do. I hold off. I told Donnie to hold off. I didn't tell you, but I did relay that to Donnie. We need to hold off and let's look and see what we got and where we need it the worst.
I think Billy's got a little bit more in his to do too, later on. They
Sometimes that's too hot.
They did do the ceiling in the second and the first, like we'd already done in yours. We did do that.
Good. Oh, we got a meeting too. Well, it'll have to be next meeting, because I think I've left it all home. I left it all home. But we got a meeting with, Hanson coming up, who wants to meet with us on some, snow removal, chips. Did you guys get that email? Okay, I'll relay it all to you instead, whenever I call you, and I'll relay it. But we need to take something new, that's all I know, something new.
Take a look at it.
We'll take a look. Oh, the stop sign, you get that taken care of?
What to do?
Thank you. Hi, Mark.
Hey, talked to TPA yesterday, I'll have the numbers today for the budget. So, we'll get them on, we'll get it like it with one of the councilmen or the commissioners and maybe
Ben needs to get hold of that.
sit down and we'll look at it.
Remember last meeting, we had asked, Mark if there was a way that we could come up with a better projection or a latest possible projection before the budget hearings, so it'd be a more accurate number of what it's gonna cost us and everything. Well, he's gonna, he's
They went
carrying
in
it out like
manually.
the last
I
minute.
think the county
so to
council is
speak.
concerned
They
about
went in
that.
manually and got them, and I'm gonna get them today, and then I also asked them to do the same thing a month from now. I'm not sure what the date is in September, but I know you do look at it somehow again in September, and
Right.
you could change it then, so.
We look at it again in September, and then the final adoption is in October, Ben, is that
Yeah.
right?
I think it's gonna be October first, isn't it?
Well,
October.
October first is the public hearing,
Oh, okay.
and then October, I can't remember if it's the
We
tenth or
just gotta have it
eleventh
done in
or,
November.
anyway, that would be the adoption.
So, we really, if you could,
It's not October the
the
first.
September would be the change.
Yeah.
October would be
Maybe
the
October.
finalization, public hearing.
But you can't change it in October.
If you could get up
We can
late
do
in
this again in a
September,
month,
you
and
can,
then,
that'd be great.
okay.
That gives us projection on, more accurate on what numbers we're taking a look at. This, getting it back in June and July, I mean, it's just a
You got half a
guessing
year.
game for half a year, and that's just not good, I don't think.
I haven't seen the numbers, but he did tell me that this month, which would have been, which would have been July, was your best month you've had this year, so.
Gosh, we've had good months.
Yeah,
For
so,
5 months.
just keep your fingers crossed.
Okay. Well, that'd be a switch to get a little insurance bill.
It would.
Matter of fact, I've never heard of a little insurance.
It's just not little, it's less.
Okay. Bobby?
Got that chart behind you, Dave?
Yep. This is a good idea. I asked Bobby to come. He showed this to me at the fair the other night, so I asked him to come and explain it. What this is, it's showing the voters out there who they vote for. A lot of voters, you'd be surprised the number of voters that come by your booth and said, well, I'd sure like to vote for you, but I live plumb over in the first district. I won't be able to. Well, yeah, you can. For commissioners, you can vote, the whole county votes that way. So, did you make this?
Actually, Shirley made that. We've been
Good job.
after the paper 3 or 4 times to get that in the paper, and we seem to get a little ad in there that just doesn't really get to anybody. So basically what I'm trying to do is get this in the paper, public knowledge.
Well, we have included that in some of my articles, like that
Exactly,
before the
exactly.
primary.
But, it's in print, people don't really get it. I thought something like this. I actually talked to Debbie Hayes at the
Yeah.
fair about getting this on like a page of public knowledge, and, short of somebody paying for it, I'm not getting real good response.
Yeah. I can't, I'm just,
I know,
you don't have to go above me.
I understand.
That's it. You might talk to Stephanie.
That's the reason I
It's
brought
really
it
kind of
back.
neat. You've got the school board elections and
Yeah.
what.
Breaks everything down, lets people know what's
Yeah.
going on every day out there on
Yeah.
campaign, they ask me, who can I
good deal.
Sweetie Indiana proud, you haven't talked to us.
Slap it
I
on.
understand on the website, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's infinite amount of information we can put up. If that's what you want up there, you know, the paper, it's hard for the paper to do something like that.
Good piece of information for everybody. 'Cause
Yeah.
we
Well,
run
you
into
know,
that-
worst come to worst, I want to post it at the polls, I mean, it's just that simple.
And we run into that, quite often, as politicians, as you're at the fair, or somebody says, well, I can't vote for you there because I live in different districts or whatever, and they don't. Well, Marcia's right too, they put it in the paper, but it's in writing, they don't see the picture. And I
Yeah,
thought,
if you
well, that's
actually
pretty
had
good
something
idea.
like that, I
A
think it'd be
picture, then
perfect.
they'll know, this office here, the whole county votes, this one here, there's certain parts of the county votes, and it makes a big difference. So I thank you, Bob, for
Thank you.
bringing that, I
Thanks very much.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Byron, how you doing, buddy? I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
I'm Jeff Crowley, and I'm good here.
Oh, Jim.
You guys will all answer the questions.
Ben?
I have a question for Mr. Mitchell. And I won't take too much time here. I got that budget estimate for the city, from the city as well. And I assume, are they trying to negotiate where the county takes more responsibility for this other, outside of the $25,844 right now, I think, that we commit to?
Well, I mean, basically, they would be the new employer for, if we were to do this,
He's asking about dollars, so.
Because in the budget, we're getting ready to do a budget here.
Yeah.
And I keep hearing these rumblings about, and I see that, I think we increased, I think we was doing 20, and we went to that 25 this year, and I assume that's included an additional 5 for that additional part-time person in that?
No.
Okay, that's fine, we'll talk about that budget. But
well,
I'm just concerned what we're gonna be talking about as far as approving as a county's portion doing budget.
I don't think it's gonna be any more than what we're paying. It's what we're trying to, right now, because we're paying $20,000.
Let me,
Go ahead.
I think they're looking for an even split.
Well, I thought
But
they
in
looked for something
exchange-
more than what we had
But
reflected.
in exchange, we could decrease expenses. Okay, like if it's all run through the city, we're not paying separate insurance, we're not paying separate payroll, we're not paying separate vehicles, we're not, all those expenses go away. So when you take, if you just say we're paying 20,000 or 25,000, that's really not true. We're paying a bunch of other things too on the side. So when you dissect that out from,
Take all costs.
take all that together, we're paying about the same. But I think, to answer your question, we're looking at this budget and saying, I think they want us to pay it. So we gotta look at this and say, how accurate and realistic is this?
Well, yeah,
It's gonna
because
cover it.
I'm kind of like John, when I looked at this, I seen some missing, what I thought was items.
Right.
And what's not included in here, which could go away and stay. You know, the Humane Society, I don't think what they chip in is in here, and then they got this pet food deal. I think there's some people who provide additional free stuff.
What I don't know is, are they wanting us to pay half? My understanding was, I've talked to them less, but my understanding was that's kind of the way we're moving. But even if we pay, our cash outlay goes to our cash outlay to the city increases, but our cash outlay in other areas decreases because we no longer have all these overhead expenses. They'll be covering them all. So that's my understanding. I think that I'm answering your
I
question.
guess my question will be,
So they don't even have fuel, and,
Yeah.
that I can see.
well, I thought there was some fuel in there.
It's funny how there's fuel missing all the time.
Yeah. For sure.
The thing, I looked at it, Ben, and studied it yesterday,
Yeah.
and it really needs to go back to Rick. We need to re-meet with them, because I think it's just not as complete as it needs to be.
For us to get a real
We can't get
feel.
a good reading on it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the city will be the employer of, of our the animal control officer. which would
Well, I
be
guess what I'm gonna be
you.
looking for is the obvious, what number we plugging in for our share during the
And we
budget.
can't give that to you right now.
Right, but
Until we get this one.
we're starting next week.
Yeah, I know you are.
I looked at this, I got it yesterday in the mail, and I thought, okay,
kinda like the insurance company, we're gonna give you a good guess.
That works for me, because I don't go to art. That works for me, as long as it's an educated one. That's all I have.
John?
John pretty much covered everything that we covered yesterday, and, of course, the budget hearings are the 15th through 17th. Welcome any input or help that you want to send our way those days.
We'll be sitting there all 3 days with you. We can sweat along with the rest of it. 8:30, you start at 8:30, is that correct?
We got to schedule it someplace, I thought it was
Yeah,
a
they failed.
8:30 till
Well, we open at 8 o'clock.
8 a.m.
8? Well, I read 8:30.
First person's 8:30.
There's a,
We'll be
8:30 is
there
when
at
the
8.
first budget.
First is
First
8:30.
person's 8:30.
yeah, we open at 8 o'clock.
What do you do from 8 to 8:30?
Coffee and donuts. Coffee and donuts. Whoever's furnishing them.
County council, they're more prepared than us. I've seen
I guess so.
Well, you gotta have time for an entrance, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have, you know, a few of them are a little bit, you know.
Well, you had a greeting this morning, I may want to have a 30-minute dissertation on what we're going to be doing.
There you go.
See, yeah.
So,
Better extend your schedule another half hour. When's it end?
4:30, 5? 5.
yeah, we'll convene at
So
5 o'clock.
it starts at 8:30, ends at 5 o'clock, correct? 8:30 to 5, 1 hour for lunch,
I
Hour and
thought
a
we-
half.
1.5 for lunch. I'm trying to fill this all in so everybody here knows. 'cause
Well, it actually says we adjourn, we will convene, because once the meeting opens, the meeting stays open until we close the meeting out on Friday evening.
Right.
So we'll just be convening and be recessed.
Recessed.
Yeah.
Okay. Marcia? No? Let's see, I've already been up through here. Okay, I got a couple of things. One is the fair. Fair went fine. We did have a little problem with some flu that some of the hogs got, which some of the kids had. And, all that's been taken care of. Hopefully that's all been put to bed right now. The hogs were quarantined. I commend the fair board and the people for taking the action that they took. As soon as they found out what was going on, they immediately quarantined the whole area. Of course, whenever that happened, there was rumors flying all over the county that they, all the way from shutting down the fair to returning people away to the swine flu was infecting the whole county, and I mean, it just went, it really ballooned, and it really wasn't as serious as everybody took it. People were calling in on, let's see, Thursday night. People were still calling Thursday night, wanting to know if it'd be okay to bring their kids to the fair and all that stuff. Of course, we told them yes, it was. The food booths are still open. We didn't shut down every food booth at the fairgrounds and all this other stuff. But everything, all in all, everything went fairly well. The fairgrounds looked real well. Everything went good. I think everybody that went enjoyed it, had a good time, so that was good. Fredericksburg. We already had made the motion, accepted, and voted that we would be dissolving the town of Fredericksburg. There's a 60-day period here that we will be going through before the town actually does close. I went to Fredericksburg to the town hall for their second to last meeting. Just happened to be 100 degrees that day, and that little building does not have air. And boy, was it hot. And it's a little bitty room, but we sat there. They got, I think, all the records ready. Sarah, did you get the necessary records yet?
We got any yet?
Okay, they're boxing them up. They're trying to get all the most recent records to you. And then there's probably a truckload of some other records that we'll have to do some things with. The town of Fredericksburg owns a lot more than I suspected. It's not just address the town hall. There's about a 3 or 4 acres in behind the town hall. I don't know exactly, anybody from Fredericksburg here today by any chance? Just by luck. Okay, there's about 3 acres, Byron, you're familiar with that down there. There's about 3 acres right behind the town hall. And then you drive back another, a block off of the main drags, and there on the left, there's a park. Of course, now it's all weeds, but, one farmer did go in there this spring or sometime and bale it. But of course, once you bale it, it grows faster that way. So now it's really up. So Gerald, we may have to go mow that if we can't find a farmer wanting to bale it, okay? And what would that be, Byron? Maybe close to 5 acres there, including the park?
So there's some streets in there.
Okay, then up from the city hall, or the town hall, there's another section on the other side of the highway that the town of Fredericksburg owns. So we'll be responsible for that also, okay? Now, and I don't know what kind of shape it's in. Gerald, if we go down and mow that, we may want to mow cautiously, because I wouldn't have a clue what would be laying there, you know? So it's kind of scary, that area. The other area, I know they did come in and do it for hay, so we could probably take care of that. Tom, there's some people down there that, would be interested in buying some of the land adjacent to their property. I don't know how that's set up to where we work out a deal or whatever, but I'll just give you a heads up on it that some people may be coming asking. I talked to some of the people down there. I think the town of Fredericksburg is going to be known as the community of Fredericksburg for the next 100 years. I don't know of anything that changed other than instead of becoming a town, it became a community, which may be a good thing. Phil talked earlier about the Lions Club down there. Those guys are meeting in their homes. But by having this city hall there, and I think it would be a good idea for us as commissioners to go ahead and grant that to or meet with the Lions Club and say, look, you know, if you guys can fix this up for your benefit, knock out the walls, and it's a big enough building, you could make a nice meeting hall. I think it would benefit us. And they may want to take charge of the park back there and do some different things. There's a lot of people on the edge of Fredericksburg that were really interested in not letting the town die that I think is going to come in and really help that town out. So, you know, yeah, the town dissolved because it didn't have any money, but it may not be an all bad thing. It might be a pretty good thing because of what they can do now, because of the number of people. So, anyway, they will have another town board meeting in September that I'll be attending there, which will be their last meeting, and then we'll go from there. The meeting that we were at this past week was things that they're trying to finish up on. You know, making sure the street lights are out. The electric company's been contacted. There's another dilemma that they're trying to go through, because they're trying to contact, individuals are trying to contact the electric company and say, well, you know, we know you're gonna take a street light down, but we want you to leave this light, and we'll pay you a security light fee, set it up for a security light for us. Now, whether or not they do that, I don't know, but we'll let them worry about that. But there will be one more meeting, a final meeting in September, and I'll attend that.
You have a date and time?
I need to know this stuff, so.
You need the date and time?
Yeah.
I hope I wrote all this down.
We're working on the deeds to all the properties, and the whole thing about people wanting properties is there's gonna be deed restrictions on some of them that have to remain on them, that they have to remain open for public use. So,
see if I can find it. I don't even know if I had this with me or a tablet.
You had a question, what'd you say, John?
When's that 60 days?
I don't know, our auditor and, would you say the
So the court,
clerk?
yeah.
The clerk went ahead and sent these things, filed with the Secretary of State and with the State Board of Accounts.
I did the one.
You did
that
say,
they-
okay, anyway, we have to file this with the circuit court and with the Secretary of State, and she did that, and I don't have file state, I don't know what the date was.
I took it over that next day.
Okay.
Okay, I
But,
didn't have,
I know you took it there the next day, but my question, I don't know, it's 60 days after they get filed with both, so we got it filed with the clerk of the circuit court the day after our meeting. When she got it filed with the Secretary of State, it's whenever that happened, the 60 days from then. So we can assume it's about 6 weeks from now. I don't know.
Well, I know she told me she gave it to the Secretary of State, because they had a meeting they was going to that same week that I gave it to her. And she was taking it up and handing it to them that same week, so it should have been that same week, but.
Right, yeah, I'm sure it's in the same week, but so we don't have an exact date.
Right.
I have that date wrote in my other tablet, because I took a bigger tablet down there, I thought I'd have to do a lot of writing.
You
And
went,
I left it at home, so I'll
you went
call you
with, you went with the tablet over the Mac product?
over the,
You've got a tablet? Oh, never mind.
One of my tablets, this tablet's like mine.
I had a big one, because I thought, boy, I'm gonna have to write a lot, and I really didn't. I was sweating so bad, it wouldn't have mattered anyway, I couldn't have read what I wrote. But anyway, I'll call you and give you the date. I think it's September 17th, and I think that the reason why they set it, because that was 60 days, that will be their last meeting, but let me verify that and make sure, and I'll give you a call. And that's all I have. Sarah?
I just had claims and payroll. That's all I have.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the claims and payroll, or is there any questions? Okay, any questions? If not, all those in favor of accepting the claims and payroll, raise your right hand. Okay, any other business to come before the board? Anything else? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion to made, second, we adjourn, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Thanks, everybody.
Explain.